And don't get me wrong, that's great. And if you're good at it, great. But sometimes I think it's good to focus on one thing at a time, master that, and then kind of move on. But also, you have to put your foundations in properly. Like, you need to make sure that everything is in place. So for me, it was about, of course, writing my recipe and getting that right, the packaging, all of that sort of stuff. But you need to make sure that you've done your hygiene courses. So I did my hygiene level 1 and 2. You have to register your business. You need to register your business with the council as well, so they can come and do the checks of your kitchen, because there's so many people online that are doing all of these food businesses, and I'm pretty confident a lot of them haven't gone through those steps. And you have to, like, you need your business insurance in place. You need to make sure that you know everything about the allergens, because you don't want to be sending things out to people and putting anyone at risk.
That's quite a pressurized thing as well, having your kitchen is kind of this like multifaceted space. Like, you need to make sure that it's spotless, allergy things, because obviously that was a huge thing in the media a few years ago, wasn't it, with the whole prep thing, and, you know, intense thing. So if you're not...
and it's so important. And I think sometimes people think, oh, I'll just do it as a side hustle, I'll just sell bits and pieces here and there, but they actually don't quite understand the severity of it. And maybe it's my legal background, maybe, I don't know, maybe just because I love food. But either way, I just thought I need to go through it properly. I need to make sure everything's in place. So obviously I went through all of that, registered with Companies House as a limited company, opened my business bank account, set up my website. There's so much preliminary stuff that you have to do before you even get there, you know. And then once I was there, it was just about eating.
How long did that business take? Was it quite a while before you actually launched the business?
So I had everything in place within 6 days of my idea. Then I registered with the council, and you have to wait 28 days before you're allowed to bake from your kitchen. So if they don't get back to you within... When are the Smarties coming? The Smarties are on the website. Within 28 days, you have to wait 28 days. If they don't contact you within that time, you can start. But if they do contact you, you have to go through all of the health and safety procedures and make sure you've got everything in place. So they contacted me on the 28th day. We did an assessment over the phone, and then she gave me like a pending status, and then she came round once she was allowed to do home visits, and then did like the full hygiene rating of the kitchen then.
Oh gosh, I bet you were like so excited but so stressed at the same time.
Yeah, but it's good. Like everything I put in place was obviously good enough for me to get my 5-star hygiene rating. So winning.
Love it. So in terms of stress, how do you deal with kind of stress and anxiety day to day? Because you must have moments, like we said earlier, where you're like, oh my god, there's so much going on, and if you're getting loads of orders, amazing, but then, you know, it must get a lot. How do you deal with that, and have you got any kind of tips?
So I try and go swimming. I swim outside with one of my mates quite regularly, obviously when the gyms are open. So we go to like local David Lloyd, swim outside in the heated pool all year round. So I find that really relaxing. Bit of boxing. I just try and stop. I think it's so important to learn to say no to people. Like when you work for yourself, I cannot tell you how easy it is to literally work 20 hours and then look at the time and think, I need to stop. So for me, it's just about trying to stop and say no, just to give myself enough time to process everything that I'm doing, to be honest.
So even with orders, you'll be like, well, I can't do any more orders that day or that week, so you can kind of have some personal time. I guess that's so important, isn't it, if you're doing two jobs?
I think because of lockdown, because I wasn't doing anything else, it gave me the time, it gave me the opportunity to literally stop and think, I've got this time, I may as well do something with it. Absolutely. Whereas if lockdown hadn't happened, this business wouldn't have existed, because with the amount of work I was doing and the amount of like bottomless brunches I was going to, and you know, like that is genuinely like the majority of your time when you're out, you're doing things, you feel like you don't have any time. So I was literally forced into staying in my house and doing something, you know.
And I think it's interesting, obviously lockdown was, you know, pretty shit and whatever, but had that not happened, like you said, you would never have this business now, which is amazing. So it's like definitely come out of it. So moving kind of away from career stuff at the moment then, and looking at kind of food and food memories, was food a big part of your growing up, and what was kind of your earliest food memory as a child?
But like food is literally life. Like
Yeah.
my whole life, like everything revolves around food.
Yeah.
For as long as I can remember. So
Yeah.
like every birthday, my mum would make like a super elaborate birthday cake. It would be like Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall and like various different things. I remember vividly from my childhood every birthday. And she would go shopping every Friday, and I'd literally come home from school and want to try one of everything that she bought. But honestly, I would just, food, like I literally love food. I would eat and my family would laugh at me because I would like hum while I was eating because I was just so happy. And it's always I just think food brings people together. I just think it's such a big thing, to be honest.
Yeah, 100%. I think in lockdown that has been so obvious, hasn't it? From like everyone's kind of using, I would say, baking for like therapy, or kind of not just doing it as a hobby. Like it actually calms people, and cooking as well.
Yeah, 100%.
And people have like reconnected with it, haven't they? Like if you've not been cooking for months, you're like, right, I can finally get around to doing it. I know that's how I feel anyway.
Yeah, definitely. I think like baking is therapeutic until you're doing like 250 cookie boxes in one day, and then it's just absolute stress. But normally, yeah, if I've got time for it, I enjoy it a lot.
Yeah. Did you like cooking like kind of savoury things outside of baking?
Yeah. Do you know what? I prefer savoury to sweet, ironically.
Yeah.
I'm not really a dessert kind of girl. Like I would take a starter over a dessert any day of the week.
Exactly the same for me. That actually on to the next question. So your last meal on earth, starter, main, dessert and drink, alcohol or non-alcoholic, but I think I could know what you're gonna pick. What is your selection?
My starter, I would have my friend Israel from Chef Secrets, private chef company, check them out. I would get him to come and make me scallops. His scallops, bang, they're literally the best ever. Main would say again.
What's on the scallops?
Garlic butter. He does like black garlic and pork belly. Honestly, incredible. And they come to your home and cook for you or do venues. It's amazing. Like I do their dessert, so great. Main, I would get Wingmans to deliver me like a mountain of buffalo wings with like all the blue cheese sauce, all of it.
Brownie
and mac and cheese on the side for sure. And then for dessert, actually my friend Chris opened a brownie company called Brownie Boys during lockdown as well. It was one of his projects. His brownies are better than mine, and I've got quite a high opinion of my own brownies. I don't really like eating other people's baking, to be honest. But his are amazing, so that's what I would have, his brownies for dessert.
Oh yeah, and the drink as well? You're gonna have a drink?
Oh yeah, so the drink would be a cocktail from Wingman's called Mandem Juice, and it's a rum punch, and it's insane. But in fact, I think they're bottling it at the moment, so they'll be selling that online soon. So get that in your face.
Get some of that. Rum is literally my favourite spirit. I don't really like vodka or gin.
I'm with you.
Yeah. That's what you're drinking at the moment, isn't it?
Yeah, rum punch.
I need to spice. I feel really left out.
Yeah, you're having a coffee. You could have at least made an espresso martini for the occasion.
I can't make very good ones. If anyone's got any suggestions, also if anyone's got any questions, send them into the comments and we can address them at the end. So we come to our last question. It's gone so quick. Where do you see yourself in 10 years time, and how do you want your business to evolve? Like, do you see law as being part of your career, as well as cookies in 10 years time?
I don't know. It's the honest answer. Like, I'm good at my job, and I've got a lot of clients that I think would be sad to see me go anywhere. I think for the time being, I'm going to do both. I'm not really like a long-term kind of person. Like I know people like to know what your long-term plans are. I don't have a plan. I never have a plan. Everything just always works out.
I love that.
So yeah, I think I'd like to think that my cookie business will be a little bit more of an empire. I will be able to offer opportunities to people, and I